It is not uncommon for you to claim that you are a generally ordinary good person, and you would be absolutely appalled if you were to be asked to commit horrendous acts against humanity. Now, before we begin, I would like to ask you, the viewer, a question. What makes good people turn bad? Moreover, what is good and what is evil? How can a normal person of socially acceptable virtues do morally questionable things, even when they are very well aware of what they are doing? Philip Zimbardo, an American psychologist notorious for his prison experiment, asked this question. He had coined the term the Lucifer Effect, where good would turn to bad, or vice versa, but the former would require a lot of rehabilitation and help. Here is exactly what he asked.
What makes people go wrong?
To understand the Lucifer Effect, one should know the story behind Lucifer, the fallen angel, as known as Satan, the force of all evil. Lucifer was God's favorite angel, but due to his slight disobedience from this absolute authority, God had Michael, the archangel, banish Lucifer and the other angels, which then created hell, the place of all things evil. An example in the fictional world would be the story of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. An example of the Lucifer Effect in real life would be the Abu Ghraib incident, where American military police officers who were mostly considered to be virtuous and just, had physically and sexually abused prisoners in Iraq. Zimbardo defined evil as this.
That line between good and evil, which privileged people like to think is fixed and impermeable, with them on the good side and the others on the bad side, I knew that line was immovable and it was permeable. Good people could be seduced across that line, and on some rare circumstances, bad kids could recover. Good and evil is the yin and yang of the human condition. Evil is the exercise of power, and that's the key. It's about power. To intentionally harm people psychologically, to hurt people physically, to destroy people mortally or ideas, and to commit crimes against humanity. So we're interested in what are the external factors around the individual, the bad barrel. And social scientists stopped there, and they missed the big point that I discovered when I became an expert with Abu Ghraib. The power is in the system. The system creates the situation that corrupts the individuals. The system is the legal, political, economic, cultural background. I'm neither a good cop nor a bad cop, Jerome. Like yourself, I'm a complex amalgam of positive and negative personality traits that emerge or not depending on the circumstances.
Unlike Milgram's shocking experiment, Zimbardo's prison study had participants who were not under the pressure of authority. Instead, the guards were given the power to do whatever they see fit to play the role, which links to the Lucifer Effect. From what Zimbardo explains in his ToK, he says that there are other social processes that blur the line between good and evil, and that even the best of people can be tempted into being bad.
A police car pulls up in front, and a cop comes to the front door and knocks and says he's looking for me. So they took me out the door, they put my hands against the car. It was a real cop car, it was a real policeman, and there were real neighbors in the street who didn't know that this was an experiment. And there was cameras all around and neighbors all around. They put me in the car, then they drove me around Palo Alto. They took me to the police station, the basement of the police station. Then they put me in a cell. I was the first one to be picked up, so they put me in a cell, which was just like a room with a door with bars on it. You could tell it wasn't a real jail. They locked me in there in this degrading little outfit. They were taking this experiment too seriously.
Here are the prisoners who are going to be dehumanized. They're going to become numbers. Here are the guards with the symbols of power and anonymity. Guards get prisoners to clean the toilet bowls out their bare hands, to do other humiliating tasks. They strip them naked. They sexually taunt them. They begin to do degrading activities, like having them simulate sodomy. You saw simulating fellatio in soldiers in Abu Ghraib. My guards did it in 5 days. The stress reaction was so extreme that normal kids we picked because they're healthy had breakdowns within 36 hours. The study ended after 6 days because it was out of control. 5 kids had emotional breakdowns.
The Abu Ghraib incident and the prison experiment showed that people can do unjust things when given the power or the temptation. This poses a knowledge question in theory of knowledge. How can good transition to bad? The Lucifers under the Lucifer Effect have two ways of knowing: reason and emotion. Transitioning from being an ordinary good person to a sadistic person would require a lack of reasoning and a lack of morals in order to have the audacity to do morally questionable things. As for emotion, it depends on how the situation holds. The complex amalgam of positive and negative emotions on how the situation holds, depending on the circumstances, as quoted from the cartoon shown before. To conclude, the Lucifer Effect would explain how normal people could transform into evil, sadistic individuals under the influence of power.